Welcome to Step 11. Now, in its essence, this step encourages us to move forward in our spiritual journey. Now, I truly believe AA, NA, GA, and all the other A's came about through divine inspiration and intervention. That's to say, it's inspired by God. Recovery is a brilliant introduction to God for those who don't believe in God. But unfortunately, a lot of people stop there and they don't go any further. I mean, they finally turn to face God and then they just don't make any further movement toward Him. They stand there stumped, wondering why they're not continuing to grow spiritually. Now, during my early recovery, I did my best to resist God, but I knew that if I wanted to get better, I had to work the program as instructed. So, under protest, I worked the first 3 steps and let God back in. Little did I know, I had just enrolled into what I like to call spiritual kindergarten. Thankfully, recovery didn't toss me into the spiritual deep end, or I don't think I would have made it. Instead, it allowed me to ease into God a little at a time through spiritual baby steps. Now, it took some time, but I finally got to a place in my walk with God where I needed more on a spiritual level than AA could offer. And God tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you've learned all this place has to teach. It's time for you to go home." And I knew He meant church, and that was the last place I wanted to be. No way did I want to go back to all those judgmental hypocrites. I mean, they were the reason I stopped going to church in the first place. And it was at that moment I heard God say in a still quiet voice, "Hey, I don't want you to follow my people. I want you to follow me." And all at once, it made sense. I was never angry with God. I was angry with the church. Those people that I had resented all these years were just as flawed and pathetic as me. All that mattered was my personal walk with God. And if I wanted to grow, I had to obey. And I'll tell you what, my life has never been the same. It was the best decision I ever made. Now, I want to be clear. I'm in no way coming down on the spirituality of recovery. In fact, I owe my life to AA, and I still go to meetings. Now, that said, recovery in and of itself just simply can't give us an endless supply of spiritual growth. It was never meant to. You need to find a church, a Bible study, or some other kind of spiritual fellowship that's going to help you continue to grow. Supplemental fellowship is essential. You're either moving toward God or away from God. There's no in between. So your assignment for this step is simple. Ready? Find a fellowship outside of recovery to get involved with. That's it. Yeah, I know it'll be hard for some of you, but if you want to continue to grow in your spiritual journey, you gotta do it. See, in step 11, we're instructed to make an effort to move forward in our relationship with God. Back in step 3, we made a decision to turn our will and lives over to His care. Now, step 11 pushes us to advance that relationship through theological studies, scriptural examination, fellowship, and helping others. You've earned your diploma. Now do yourself a favor and graduate to grade school. See you in step 12.